We Are Displaced by Malala Yousafzai, Introduction to Part 2. I am not a refugee, but I understand the experience of being displaced, of having to leave my home, my country, because it has become too dangerous to remain. When I think of refugees and those who have been displaced, I think of resilience, courage, bravery. I think of the first trip I took to the Zatari refugee camp in Jordan in 2014 and all the Syrians I met at the border. They had reached the end of their harrowing journeys, but only the beginning of their new, uncertain lives. I think of Mazoon, Maria, and Marie Claire. I think of Najla and Zainab, and these are just a few of the extraordinary girls and young women I have met who have inspired me to dig deeper into my own story of displacement, to understand and share theirs. Many people think refugees should feel only two things: gratitude toward the countries that granted them asylum and relief to be safe. I don't think most people understand the tangle of emotions that comes with leaving behind everything you know. They are not only fleeing violence, which is why so many are forced to leave, and is what's shown on the news, but they are escaping their countries, their beloved homes. That seems to get lost in the conversation about refugees and internally displaced people. So much focus is on where they are now, not on what they have lost as a result. I am incredibly grateful to the United Kingdom for the warm welcome my family and I have received. But not a day goes by when I don't miss my home. I miss my friends and the taste of Pakistani tea that has been boiled with milk on a stove and sweetened with sugar. My mom makes rice and chicken here, my favorite dish, but it tastes different in Pakistan. I cannot explain it, other than to say it is tastier there. The same with our fish, which is thin and pan-fried with spices. Totally different from the deep-fried fish and chips everyone loves so much here in England. Everyone but me. I miss the sounds of Pashto being spoken in the streets and the smell of the earth after a heavy rain in the mountain village where my grandparents live. I miss the lush green of Swat Valley, the place I called home for the first 15 years of my life. But I don't miss holding my breath every time I saw Taliban soldiers in the streets of Bangora, or checking and rechecking that our front door was locked throughout the night when I was 10, 11, and 12, when our valley was no longer safe. Nor do I miss waiting for my father to come back home at midnight after meeting with friends who oppose the Taliban. My stomach clenches just recalling those dark nights I lay awake in my bed, praying for a safe return. I don't miss the sounds of my city under siege, the army helicopters whirring above our home, or the bomb blasts that got louder and closer each day before the government finally forced an evacuation. But I do miss home, and I recognize this mix of feelings in the stories of the girls and young women I met. I never thought of myself as being a global advocate for refugees. When I go to a camp, I sit with people and ask them to tell me their stories. That's how this started, me listening. And they all have their own list of sounds and smells and tastes they miss, people they didn't get to say goodbye to. They all have parts of their journey they'll never forget, and faces and voices they wish they could remember. I've shared my story to honor the girls I've met, but now it's time to share some of theirs. Truth be told, I don't want to keep telling my story. My strategy in life is to live in the present and focus on the future, but I know people are interested, and if by telling my story I can take the light people shine on me and reflect it onto others, well, that is what I will do. I am part of this group of people who had no choice but to leave our homes, and together our stories span the globe, even as they are grounded in our hearts. End of the introduction to Part 2.